I did not expect Apple to make a laptop like this. The MacBook Neo feels almost out of character for the company. At first, for years you wanted a MacBook, you were usually looking at a starting price of $999 US. Sure, older models like the MacBook Air M1 could fall to around $699 US on sale, but that was still far above what most budget buyers were shopping for. The MacBook Neo starts at just $599 US for education, which is a huge jump downward. That is $500 less than the new MacBook Air M5. And yes, that price is low enough to set off warning alarms, but after testing the MacBook Neo, I think the surprise is not that it is cheap. The surprise is that it is actually good. In fact, it is the most balanced laptop I have used under $600 US, and it easily beats every Windows laptop I have tried in this class. It also leaves most Chromebooks behind. For $599 US, Apple gives you an aluminum body that feels solid and premium, a bright 500 nit display with rich color, and the A18 Pro chip, which is fast enough for everyday work, streaming, browsing, light productivity, and casual game. The side-mounted speakers are also much better than they have any right to be at this price. So, what did Apple give up to make that happen? Where does this laptop fit in the wider market? And should you actually buy it? Let's get into the full MacBook Neo review. The MacBook Neo is one of the most interesting Apple products in a long time, and it launches at a time when value matters more than ever. Prices are rising across consumer electronics, memory is getting more expensive, global trade pressure is still affecting hardware costs, and people are simply more cautious with money than they used to be. Apple is usually treated as the company that sells premium gear, and that is mostly true. But that does not mean Apple cannot make good value products. The Mac Mini M4 is already a strong example of that. The MacBook Neo goes one step further by targeting the budget and mid-range laptop space directly. That is a market filled with Chromebooks and affordable Windows laptops, and Apple is now entering it with a product built entirely on its own rules. And that is the key point here. The MacBook Neo is cheaper, but it does not feel striped down in the usual way. You still get a beautiful aluminum laptop, now offered in 4 lively color options that make Apple's lineup feel more fun again. The display is another big win. It is a 13-inch Retina panel with 2408 by 1506 resolution, which is sharper than the 1080p screens that dominate this price range. The webcam is 1080p and looks clean for video calls, the speakers sound excellent, and the laptop runs the full version of macOS. That means you are not stuck in a limited or locked down environment. You can use the standard Mac apps just like you would on a more expensive Mac. The main compromise is memory. The base model has 8GB of unified memory, which is enough for everyday use, but it is not ideal for heavy multitasking. Even so, for standard schoolwork, browsing, office tasks, and light creative work, it performs well. The real story though is the price. At $599 US, the MacBook Neo is shockingly competitive. For students, the price drops to $499 US, and at that point it becomes very hard to argue against. Finding a Windows laptop or Chromebook that matches this level of build quality and display quality at that price is extremely difficult. Of course, there are trade-offs. The keyboard has no backlight, so it is not ideal in low light, and the 2 USB-C ports use older USB 3 and USB 2 technology instead of modern high-speed standards. Still, even with those compromises, Apple has made one of the strongest budget laptops available in 2026. It may not be the cheapest laptop you can buy, but it is one of the most complete. That alone makes it a serious problem for the competition. Price is the headline feature here, and Apple clearly designed the MacBook Neo around it. The starting price is $599 US with an extra $100 off for education users. That puts it among the least expensive Macs Apple has ever made. The Mac Mini M4 may cost about the same, but it does not include a display, a keyboard, or mouse, so if you care about total cut out of the box value, the MacBook Neo is the better deal. The base configuration includes a 13-inch liquid retina display, 8GB of unified memory, and a 256GB SSD. Inside, you get Apple A18 Pro chip with a 6-core CPU and 5-core GPU. The A18 Pro originally launched in the iPhone 16 Pro in 2024, and using that chip is one of the main reasons Apple could keep the price this low. Hardware choices are limited, which is expected at this level. The only real upgrade is storage, when you can move from 256GB to 512GB for an extra $100. That is not a bad deal in today's market. The higher storage model also includes a Touch ID button on the keyboard, which gives you fingerprint login, Apple Pay support, and easier authentication. The base model does not include Touch ID. At this price, the MacBook Neo goes directly after low-cost favorites like the HP Chromebook Plus 15.6-inch and the Acer Aspire Go 15. That alone is notable because Apple almost never competes in this part of the market. But in build quality, materials, and overall presentation, the MacBook Neo is ahead of nearly everything in that group. It also changes the meaning of entry-level Mac. The MacBook Air is no longer the cheapest MacBook you can buy, and that makes the new MacBook Air M5's $1,099 starting price feel less painful than it otherwise would. Still expensive, but a little more understandable. One more small but important note: in the UK and Europe, the MacBook Neo does not ship with a charger, only a USB-C cable. That is clearly part of a wider push to reduce e-waste. But it means some buyers will need to purchase a charger separately if they do not already have one. This is where Apple's usual strength shows up immediately. The MacBook Neo may be affordable, but it does not look or feel like a cheap laptop. That is one of the biggest reasons it stands out so much in this category. The aluminum construction gives it a firm, premium feel that most budget laptops simply cannot match. It also comes in 4 colors, which is a welcome change from the usual sea of grey and black notebooks. The review unit I had was the citrus version, which is a bright green shade that feels fresh without being loud in a bad way. Apple also showed the other colors at the launch event. Silver is the classic safe pick, blush gives you a soft pink tone, and indigo is a deeper blue. All of them look polished, not playful in a cheap way. The metal chassis does mean this laptop is not quite as light as some people might expect. It weighs 2.7 pounds or 1.23 kgs, which is the same as the MacBook Air. That is still portable, but for students carrying it around campus or kids moving between rooms, it is not invisible in a backpack. It is also a bit thicker than the Air. Apple has also colored the keyboard to match the body, which helps the whole design feel more unified. That is a small detail, but Apple does a good job with those little visual touches. One thing to know is that Touch ID is not included on the base model. If you buy the 512GB version, you get the fingerprint button on the keyboard. That is much more useful than the standard log button on the cheaper model, especially because Touch ID speeds up logins, purchases, password entries, and app approvals. It is a shame Apple locked that feature behind the more expensive configuration, since biometric security is already common on many cheaper laptops. The keyboard itself is comfortable and familiar. It feels like a proper Magic Keyboard, which is good. The bad news is that it is not backlit. That is probably the clearest compromise Apple made to hit this price point, and it matters more than some people might think. In a dim classroom, a dorm room, or a late-night study session, the missing backlight becomes annoying fast. That may not be a deal breaker, but it is definitely something buyers should know. On the left side, you get 2 USB-C ports. These are also used for charging because there is no MagSafe 3 here. At first glance, the ports look the same, but they are not. The port closer to the back uses USB 3 and tops out at 10 Gbps, which is fine for modern accessories and decent for external storage, though still far slower than the Thunderbolt 4 or Thunderbolt 5 on more expensive MacBooks. You can plug in a 4K 60Hz monitor through it, which is useful. The second USB-C port uses USB 2, which is far slower and only really suitable for basic accessories like a mouse or keyboard. That means the two ports may look identical, but they do very different jobs. This is one of the strangest cost-saving choices Apple made. It works, but it is not elegant. Someone could easily plug a device into the wrong port and wonder why performance is so slow. Even if the logic makes sense, from a cost perspective, USB 2 in a 2026 laptop feels hard to defend. But outside of that, the design is excellent for the money, the aluminum body feels premium, the screen size is practical, and the display is one of the best parts of the laptop. At 13 inches, the panel is portable and easy to carry. At 2408 by 1506, it is sharper than the standard budget laptop display. At 500 nit, it is bright enough to use in a lot of different environments, and with support for 1 billion colors, the image looks rich and vibrant. If you are used to cheap laptops with dim, flat, washed out panels, the MacBook Neo will feel like a major step up. It is one of the best displays you can get on an affordable laptop and maybe the best overall. The only thing missing is touchscreen support, which Apple still refuses to add here. The MacBook Neo is the best budget laptop you can buy right now. It sits at the higher end of the budget category, but the quality gap between it and most Windows laptops or Chromebooks at the same price is hard to ignore. The MacBook Neo looks better, feels better, and performs better in daily use. The display is excellent, the speakers are unusually good, and the overall experience feels far more premium than the price suggests. What Apple really nailed here is the software side. This is not a watered-down Mac experience. You still get full Mac OS, broad app support, and the normal Apple ecosystem features that makes MacBooks so useful in the first place. Yes, there are compromises. The memory is limited, the keyboard has no backlight, and the USB-C setup is odd. But those trade-offs are easier to accept when the rest of the machine is this well executed. In the end, the MacBook Neo is exactly what a budget MacBook should be. Simple, capable, polished, and worth the money.